What's up, y'all? Kyle here. You're watching Drivin and Vibin. Today we're talking about how to dump your RV black tanks when you got no hookup. That's the situation we're in right now. Mooch stocking over here, plenty of fresh water, but where the heck are we gonna dump our black water without moving this big thing every week or so? So the answer is quite simple. There are two options you have. The first one is just dumping it on the ground, and that one is not recommended. It's completely unsanitary, and you might get in legal trouble for that. But the second option, and the one that we use, is an RV grinder pump. This thing connects to our sewer valve, grinds up the black water, and pumps it through a hose into the septic tank of the house that we are near to. So I'm going to walk you through that process and talk about the pros and the cons of it, because it's not all peachy, even though it is the solution we're using right now. First of all, we're using the jet flow that we got at Camping World. Now, this little grinder pump has not treated us very well. It was the only thing at Camping World available. That's why we got it, because we absolutely needed it to dump our black water tanks. But it's got locked up many times, and I've had to detangle it or just try to check out what's going on with the blades. So today, before I even got started, doing a little operation on that jet flow grinder pump was our very first task of the day. And you can see inside here that it's looking nasty. I'm doing it barehanded, which in retrospect was a very bad idea, but it's got some work to be done to it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Check out this process, because it's not an easy one.
Well, I've been filling up my tank down at the Floribama line with some Miller Lite on tap and 3 cheap shots of key lime pie. When a man who came a-walking with a look so cavalier, he scanned my girlfriend up and down. Hey, wait a minute, hold my beer. Watch me swing for the fences, watch me shoot for the sky. I might not get out safely, but you gotta live before you die. Tell my mother that I love her, and the ones I hold so dear. Kiss me softly, touch me slowly, help me kindly, hold my beer.
Once the grinder pump is totally cleaned out, ready to operate, now we get to attach it to the RV, the black water pipe, and begin the process. So we're going to attach it here, make sure it's secure, and then we are also going to hook up our hose that leads to the septic tank in the nearby house. Now, the problem with the hose is that it's quite a long run. I would say close to 100 feet of hose. The jet flow pump, the little input that you screw the hose into, the threads are just not great. They are completely annihilated at the beginning of it. While it can still be connected, it just shows that I'm not happy with the way the jet flow is built this way. But we do get the hose connected, make sure it's not kinked all the way to the house so we can get a nice clean run from there. So once all that's done, we're going to let a little gray water through it just to clean it out, make sure nothing's in the pipes and we can get a nice clean flow beginning. And then that's when we open the black water valve, and that's going to start the black water transition coming from our tanks through the grinder pump, down through the hose, and into the house's septic tank. It's a slow process. This pump does not pump at a high rate, and it's a lot of gallons in that black tank. So don't be surprised if this process takes 20-30 minutes, because all that stuff is making its way through the grinder pump, 100 feet of hose, and then finally into that septic input. Now let's talk a bit about the cons real quick. My first con, as I've stated already, is that I'm not so pleased with the jet flow version of this. I need to take a deeper look into online options and see which is going to be better with higher reviews, because I just went to Camping World. It was the only one available. Had to get it, had to dump our tanks. Now it's time to get a new one. Next is that 100 feet of hose run. There's a lot of opportunity for it to get clogged in there. We haven't really had that happen yet. We've had one trouble area that kind of has this small kink in it that's hard to get out, but we've still gotten the water flow through there. But that's why it's important to pump the gray water through before and after to make sure that hose gets completely wiped out of any leftover sediment or any sediment that is there when you begin pumping. The pros to having a grinder pump is that it gives us the option to be able to pump our black tanks without hooking up and moving our 42-foot fifth wheel every week and a half. That would be such a pain. And it also lets us not just have to dump the black water on the ground, which we all know is completely disgusting and not acceptable. So it does have its pros and its cons. And overall, it's allowed us to not have to move, but we are looking for a better option out there just so we can have something that lasts a little longer. This jet flow, I mean, I swear it bit the dust this last pump. And by the end of it, we only got probably down to 2/3 of our tank empty before that it just stopped working. And that I've already cleaned it probably 5 times. I looked in it this time, didn't see any issues. And I think that it's just too small to handle the RV system that we have in our fifth wheel. Let us know how you dump your black water when you're off grid, because people could do some crazy things out there. Leave it in the comments below. Look forward to seeing you again. I'm Kyle. You're watching Drivin and Vibin. Later on.